says when you transfer it back to an ISA, who's updating Ojo, the Ojo dashboard? Is it the ISA or who takes over? I think Michelle, you were the.
Our ISA only updates Ojo. Our agents do not update in Ojo because that's how we know if they are, they're staying on task. They update Sierra and the ISA updates Ojo.
Got it. Perfect. And then another question is, what's the cadence for follow-up with a new lead that comes in that you don't connect with right away? Like over the first 3 or 5 or 10 days, what's that cadence of reach outs look like? Anyone can take that one.
Every day until we contact with them.
Yeah, I would say what most teams are doing is every day, multiple times a day, and trying multiple ways, right? Text,
Email,
double calls, emails, whatever it takes.
And one thing I would add too is I just think, again, if we have any agents on your team or people that, they have to remember, our agents have to remember the customer has reached out. So again, we're not bothering people. We're not cold calling. We're not calling a FSBO. These are people that have reached out. And so I think you have to, sometimes I've seen agents that, I just don't want to bother people. You have to remember that, the best converters I've seen realize that, hey, they inquired on something. So stay persistent, follow up, keep reaching out.
It'd be like if we were all running department stores, we'd have the conversation we'd be having with our salespeople is, hey, these people got in their car, they drove to here, they got out of their car, they walked into the store. Right. Just because they say, "Oh, I'm just looking," doesn't mean they're not here to buy something.
Right.
So let's see. What other questions? I can't see my Q&A. Anyone else have a question? Feel free just to take yourself off mute and ask it.
I have a prompt. So I was doing some data digging the other day about how it's going with Pro Plus, and what I uncovered is 10%. It's just over 10% today. Of the people that go through the Pro Plus introduction flow tell us they have a home to sell. So my guess is today, we don't tell you that. I obviously want to tell you that, and we will tell you that in the near future. But I want to understand from you three, how do you maximize that? How do you surface those listing opportunities? And what tips could you give the folks on this call to make sure that you're finding those opportunities?
We use the Fellow program. So once we put them in Sierra, they will be sent out a direct message or direct email from Fellow, which they can go in and put in their information to see what their home value is. And we're getting more engagement that way because we may not know they have a house to sell until we see that they put that information in. And that's working really well with Ojo.
Yeah, we are as well, very similar, as you just mentioned, Michelle. And what I'm noticing a lot of is again, the flow, the business is natural through that relationship building that's happening with our agent, the conversations about the other homes, the referrals and whatnot are coming. I just had a agent last night or a couple nights ago sent me a note, said, hey, just got 2 referrals from this Ojo lead I'm closing. Looks like it's going to be $1 million worth of real estate. So it's those opportunities we have to be sure we're helping our agents understand that one peach or one seed could be leading to your next vineyard. And you just never know. The one peach that nobody else wanted to help, that's the low price point, that's has poorer credit or whatever, those can be your best vineyards over time.
Got it. And we'll have Stephen teach you about how peaches are grown and the difference between orchards and vineyards. I
want to build off
orchard. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Orchard. Thank you.
I want to build off something Ryan said. We all look for real estate online, right? And if you're anything like me, you look at all sorts of houses that could be great investment opportunities that are super cheap, stuff I can't afford, and stuff I'm actually interested in. When you're getting introductions from Ojo or from any other internet lead source, I would be very cautious about judging the quality of the lead based on that one home that they clicked on at that one moment in time before they were introduced to you. Every day, we see consumers, hundreds of consumers that clicked on something in their market that looked to them like a great deal. And then once the agent actually meets them, they're like, well, yeah, that's a lot of work. And the budget quickly goes from 150,000 to 650,000. And so don't toss out a lead because just the one that we showed you was a low budget. And I think, Ren, that's what you were scratching at. How do you all coach your agents on that? When they get a lead offer and maybe it's not a great budget or otherwise, what do you tell them, or how are you encouraging them to respond?
We don't turn down any lead. We have low end in our market, and we know that a lot of those are investors that are looking for less expensive houses. I think some of our best clients have been people that have low end, and you treat them like everyone else, and they refer you to so many people. So our agents are great about that. They know that that's just all part of it.
I would recommend also. I assume everyone on the call today is in some type of leadership and some type of leadership on a team. I would recommend just like Ryan and Michelle and myself, is you're the one writing the check, you're the one that's going to profit the most. Get involved in this until you get it lifted off the runway. Don't hand this to an admin and hold them accountable. Now you're holding them accountable, they're holding your agents accountable, and all that kind of stuff. This is worth your time, your energy. You are the expert, you're the genius in your business. And there's a lot of money to be made off good leads. And so I promise if you get involved in this, if you're not, you will see the problem.
You know what?
And if you're letting middle management do it, not to insult the ones on here, but if you're not get involved in it, I don't know if it'll lift off the runway.
I don't know. Between that and the peaches, it's a toss up. But that was my favorite. That is probably the most important thing that's been said in this 48 or 52 minutes. Too many of us want to, we're going to do this program and then hand it off and use leverage and everything else. And I can't stress the importance of, especially with a new program, to roll your sleeves in, to get in there, to understand, to learn, to know the numbers, to know the nuances. You're spending money every month to be a part of this. And that's not the biggest cost. The biggest cost is the lost opportunities that are happening that you're not aware of because you're not involved. Like at 30, 60, 90 days from now, yes, you're gonna pass it on and hand it off. But boy, it's important. There's one more question I want to answer. Reagan asked, is it too early to post percentage of closed stats? Does Ojo have a conversion percentage set as an internal goal for the Pro Plus clients? Great question. The answer to the first part, yes, it's too early. We have many of you have been on for less than 30 days. And if you had one closed, that was a gift already. But we will start sharing on the leaderboard the closing percentages of all of our teams, so we can all see what's possible and what's being done and where we can aspire to. Our internal goals are: we fully expect that our Pro Plus teams at the low end should be in the 4 or 5% range. At the high end, we're not going to be surprised if we see a team over 10%, and then. That 5 to 10% is going to be a great team doing a great job. So hopefully that helps with that question. Yeah.
And let me go a step further. I mean, you're our partners. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. These are the full numbers for the program. We've made 10,000 introductions. Some of those introductions were made while we were on this call. There are 1,004 people actively touring homes, and there's 67 under contract. What we know is historically, about half of these people will end up closing. If half of those people close, you're already at a 5% conversion rate. And that's on a lead that was sent, it may have been sent while we were on the call. So what Chris is saying about a 5% kind of baseline expectation, I think that's a fair baseline expectation. My team historically, we've been on Ojo for 2.5 years. We run about 8%. And I think with the added focus on Pro Plus, we're seeing that drive even higher, primarily because we just have visibility into what's happening with our team. Granted, this changes by market. Some markets are more competitive than others, but I think as an internal baseline, that 5 to 8% is kind of the range that I would be targeting. But to answer your question, when you just see those numbers, it's like we got 1,000 people touring homes, folks, in under 60 days of introductions. That's tremendous. I mean, that is moving the market. It's really cool.
Stephen, Ryan, Michelle, thank you so much for being authentic, transparent, and sharing with everyone.